A vital 3 points for Manchester United in this one. Rio, did you see much progress in this United side tonight from the side that played in Amorim's first game back in November where these teams drew 1-1?
No, I think if we're being brutally honest, there's not been the progress that we all anticipated. We have to understand where he came from and how successful he had been and the silver he had brought to Sporting Lisbon. The anticipation of him coming was like, wow, what an opportunity we've got now with this young manager who's been ultimately successful in his time there, and it hasn't transferred here. I actually sat with him the other day and he was like, you can see there's a desire, you can see there's a work ethic behind the scenes, and he's nipping at everything to try to get this right and turn it around, but things haven't been smooth for him, and he hasn't managed to get it to where he wants to at this point in time. But I think he needs to just get to the end of the season and really regroup and then start building again and build the team and coaching the team, because right now they've been stuttering along, and that's probably being polite in the way I've said that, and they've just got to get to the end of the season.
Do you think it's the players? Do you think it's a couple of transfer windows you need?
Yeah.
Get to the end of the season, get some players in.
Yeah, the way that he wants to play, I watched Sporting Lisbon a few times in Europe especially. They were an athletic, dynamic team. Mm-hmm. That was one of the staples of their team, the hallmarks of that good team that was winning things. This team they're not a mobile, dynamic team. And if you look through the heartbeat of this team, they have other qualities, but being physical, having the ability to overrun teams physically, they don't have that capacity.
Xerxes not that up front, is he? Xerxes not that.
Maguire,
lacking a confidence.
It's not their game. So I think he needs to find those type of players with the capabilities of carrying out not only tactically what he wants, but the physicality is equally important.
Between now and then, though, he's got to get results, hasn't he? And in this game, they got off to the worst possible start. We spoke before the game about what he would be instructing them: come out, get the crowd on side, don't let Ipswich get a fast start. And look what unfolded after 4 minutes.
I was surprised by this one. Dorgu didn't see the keeper coming out. I don't think Anona should have come out, and it's a hopeful ball, just a ball in behind, simple ball in behind. It should be dealt with. It wasn't, and you're right. It's off to a terrible start for them.
It shows you if you chase lost causes and you just make yourself a nuisance, you sometimes get a little bit of luck, and that's what he's got there, Philogene. And I thought he was in the first half. He had 2 moments, scored 2 goals, but there he's just it's opportunistic, and he just finds a way that, listen, the young defender there, he's made a mistake, but you've got to be in and around it to capitalise. You as a striker, this is your game.
Yeah, you just got to chase lost causes there, and we saw 2 managers today that like playing football. But a lot of the goals came from balls in behind and runners in behind. You always need that in a team. And teams are obsessed now with playing in between and coming in the pockets and playing in front of teams. But what we saw today was balls in the box, balls in behind, chasing lost causes. And that's where the goals came from ultimately.
Yeah, it is. And I guess Ruben Amorim at this point would have had his head in his hands, but it's all about the United reaction, and they did manage to draw themselves level. Sam Morsley came back into the team, and he was a bit unlucky, but it was a great delivery, wasn't it, from Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah, you can say unlucky, but sometimes the delivery forces mistakes, or it forces a lot of anxiety within a back line, and that's what you saw there. Great delivery, but also Xerxes' position at the front post, making it difficult to see the ball coming in.
And this another unbelievable delivery. Got on the ball, it was fastest to the ball in the box. Good finish, but again, it's all about the delivery into the box. And if you look at any league across the world, at any point, any season, the teams at the best of set pieces are at the top of the league, the teams at the worst are at the bottom, whether that be corners, free kicks. And it's so important to have a Bruno in the team to deliver.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, Alex Palmer's unlucky there with his 2 saves, but when you've got somebody that can deliver a ball like Bruno Fernandes, we saw it on several occasions here this evening, anything is actually possible.
Yeah, it is, and again, I'm sure Ruben Amorim is frustrated in the fact that he has to play Bruno so deep in his team, because he's so vital in terms of creativity. You want to get him closer to the opposition goal. He's playing very much deeper, still impacting the game, but he want to get people back to be able to fill that road in the middle of the pitch to push him further forward, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think the first half, if you look at Dorgu and Garnacho, who were back in the team, I think if you look at the link up between them both, I think there's positives to be taken there. They were the 2 best players for me in the first half of United, causing all sorts of problems down this left hand side. So, unfortunate to get sent off and then taken off straight away, but it was positive signs from them.
Yeah. That's the thing. Dorgu was playing well, wasn't he? But it was a tackle on Hutchison that ended up being a straight red card. I mean, can you have any arguments with this one, Rio?
I don't think so, no. I don't think there's any arguments at all. It was a bad touch, and he slides in there on a slippery surface. I don't think there's any malice in it. I think he was genuinely going for the ball. But when you're going in with your studs up, the rules today suggest that you can't do that. So
Yeah, I think it's just a bad touch from Amorim, which it sucked him in a little bit to go for the ball. I don't think he would have done it if it was close contact. And yeah, as Rio said, I don't think there's malice in it. And when you catch someone studs up across the shins, it's a straight red.
Yeah, so the manager would be hoping to get to half-time with that 2-1 lead, but things did go from bad to worse because the red card was very closely followed by a second goal, wasn't it, for Ipswich? And it was Philogene again, and, well, once again, just not great defending, not to put too fine a point on it.
Yeah, I would argue maybe Delic could hold the line and keep a strong line, but it's difficult. There's no pressure on the ball. So maybe you do have to go back in it, but he's got to mark goal side. That's the problem. He isn't goal side, and Delap is owning that situation there. And then that little run across the front, which John can kind of talk about a bit more, puts the goalkeeper's eye line off. It
was a movement before that. It was a two yards. He took to the right first. He's gone in between them. He's took his yards off him, and then he's moved, and Delic's dropped in. And then it's just getting across the keeper's eye line, and he's unlucky not to get a touch. But Onana can't do much about it, and it's a great ball in because you see free kicks like that balls in as long as you're hitting the target or in between the sticks, you've got a chance of going in.
What I would say, from a Man United defensive point of view, forget the ball and the people in the box as well. Get out to people, stop crosses. You're paid to do that. Sometimes a bit of intensity and desire to get out there and make it difficult for the man on the ball to put balls into your box where it's very dangerous.
Yeah, well, it was all square at half-time, albeit that Ipswich did have the one-player advantage. But what a reaction from Man United in the second half. Harry Maguire, we know what he's capable of at set pieces, and this header was, unstoppable.
Yeah, Harry's one of the best in the business in both boxes in terms of heading the ball. I mean, at the weekend he didn't show that defensively, but in this, when he's attacking balls, you've seen him with England shirts, he's so dangerous in these areas. He's timing, he's running, he's brave, and when he does get his head on the ball, he knows where to put it. And again, a wonderful delivery. Great execution on the end of it from Harry.
What I'm surprised about there, you've got markers usually at set piece, and you've got blockers, and there's 3 people blocking, but
none of them can get near him.
Philogene's on a penalty spot, and he's one person you don't want to be on the penalty spot trying to head out. So I was surprised by that. Good finish, good desire to show and get on the end of set pieces. So a well-worked corner routine.
United were also able to hold on to that lead for the duration of the second half, but it wasn't just about scoring goals as far as Harry Maguire was concerned, because we spoke about Delap, didn't we, before the game, and these two players had a great tussle. Delap trying to get the better of him, Maguire obviously tracking him every stretch of the way, obviously well aware of the danger that he could pose if he was able to get in behind.
Yeah, well, listen, before every game, especially as a centre-half, you go, who am I going to be alongside today playing against? And Delap was going to be the guy around the 2 centre-halves, especially. And you look at it, or the 3 centre-halves, and you look at it and you go, well, I've got to make sure I get up against him, work him, make sure he's got to work hard to get any type of joy out of me. I thought Harry done that in the main today really well.
He did it really well, and I think if one person's going up against the battle, Liam, I would have picked the other one. I wouldn't have picked Harry because he's
is that experience though? Is that experience? Because you're saying there you'd go on the weaker, more inexperienced centre back.
Yeah, I'll try them both.
Yeah,
I'll see who's the weakest and what the weakest at, and then I'll play on that.
So I was the weakest. You used to play against me all the time.
Never played against you.
I think we'll move swiftly on from this one. Well, we've had the guys' thoughts on what they had to say about the game, but what about the man on your screen? Ruben Amorim, the Manchester United manager, will be getting his post-match reaction to a first win in 4 Premier League games. That's next.